interesting start to your life because your dad is a psychologist. And so he kind of passes some of that down to you, or take us to what childhood was like having a dad as a psychologist.
It was interesting because, you hear all the stories about how psychologists would come home and practice on their own families. Well, he would go to like the NLP conferences in the 70s, and he studied under Milton Erickson, and he'd come home and he'd actually teach me what it was that he was learning. Mm-hmm. So I got both the, yes, he did practice on me, but he would explain it so I knew what was happening. Now, this ended up being very unusual in that it changed how I look at life. Most people don't really have a strong concept of the observer unless they're introduced to it later in life. But there's always been part of me that's been watching what's going on and curious. What is actually going on under the hood? What are people thinking? Why are they doing what they're doing? And this sense of curiosity has driven most of my life and gotten me pretty much where I am today.
So would you say you approach like every day with a sense of curiosity, in every moment of your life with a sense of curiosity?
No. Let's be real. I have greater moments of curiosity than not, and it is my desired aspect in how I want to be. But the truth is that life is really messy. People are messy. It's complicated. I get triggered. I don't always act in congruence with who I want to be. But having that desire for curiosity really helps me redirect so that when I start spiraling, I can step back, breathe, and say, okay, what's going on? And then move forward, feeling more centered and more present and more able to deal with the current situation.
Yeah, that's really good. And you talked about how your dad would go to these NLP conferences. First of all, let's start here. Yeah. Not everyone knows what NLP is. So why don't you explain to us what NLP is?
It stands for Neuro-linguistic programming. And on the most fundamental level, it looks at the way how the stories we tell ourselves impact our experience of our lives. We have these narratives where we try to put things into place so they have meaning for us. And a lot of this happens on this subconscious level. But one of the things about neuro-linguistic programming is you can change programming. Once you become aware of the stories you're telling yourself, you can look at them and assess them and change them in order to have a happier life.